have our initial drawing. There we go. Our initial drawing of the creature we decided to make a sharky boy with several arms. We decided against not putting more than 8 arms. So right here we're silhouetting. Mainly this makes the silhouette much more nicer to look at, not so busy and confusing. So the 8 arm idea was on point. Here we silhouette, we're putting down our dark neutral tones. We're figuring out our light source as well. Oh, there's Gordon. We decided to make Gordon right there. Our little goat eyeball, little boopy doop right here. But we continue on with the dark neutral tones, figuring out where all our shadows are. Then we go in with the light neutral tone that we picked out. And right here we're putting in some of the pink tones and red tones for the gums, for the mouth area. And now we're putting in our teeth. We're figuring out the teeth situation, and we decided to go with human teeth instead of shark teeth because we thought it would be more interesting to look at, apparently. And I believe we are sorting out the gum area here. And are definitely putting in the little shines and highlights of where they would be on the gums. Looking pretty good, putting all that detail in. We are also working on the tooth details of where the tooth highlights would be. And I think we about finish up here, and then we're putting down our cool tones, which are blue, purple, and green, going very light on the green. We're only working on the front part of our little Toothy George here, just to make it easier workflow here, processing it out. We put in light tones to show you how to blend. So we use that light neutral tone up there to go over all our undertones we put down. And there are warm tones also in there. There is red, orange, and yellow. And here we're working on the eyes, getting all those eye details. We decided to go with hazel eyes for Toothy George. We also decided to put in some droopy bottom eyelids because we thought it would look more interesting and give a different kind of vibe to them. We can zoom out a little bit. And we're just working in the eye area, really figuring out what's working, what's not working, because as you can see, some of the space for that third eyeball was getting a little cramped, so we had to move down the saggy eyelid on the bottom further down just a little bit, and it just looks super droopy when we end up finishing all the details on it. But we also tried to work it in with the rest of the face so it didn't seem floaty at all. Here we're just working out a few details with the skin and around the eye. I believe we're working in the shininess on the skin. So we're putting those little highlights just to show how wet we want the skin to look. We're working on the front hand here, putting some highlights and joints and everything. And usually going over like where all the bones are and stuff can kind of give off a translucent feel after you go over it more with the light neutral tone that we use for blending everything together. And here, I believe this is where we started today, which was we putting in the drool. We definitely wanted to put some drool in his big gaping maw there. Wouldn't be a monster without it. And then we are working more towards the back, I believe, after we have put in all our little drooly details in the mouth. And just getting all those other details in the back. This doesn't take too long. And basically we're pretty much zip zap zooping through it and just putting in some finer hand details and working on our shadow work too, because that's our weak point, at least for me, is really fixing and addressing where shadows and everything should be. We're putting some textures in here too, just to give it more depth. It's looking really good at this point. And I believe we're working towards the back more to try and get that all sorted out, because there was some segmentation and everything that wasn't quite lining up. But now we're working towards the tail, getting all the tail details in there. Now we're adding the bristles, the gold bristles that we saw in our reference image of the scale worm that we Googled. So we take the base color of the gold, the reflective gold, put that down first, put a lighter tone in the areas we want to highlight, and then going in with our very fine technical pen and putting in the very brightly lit parts that reflect light the most, because it's a very metallic kind of feel or look to it. So we really wanted to emphasize that. And here we're just putting in our reflective rainbow highlights in, like we've seen in the bobbit worm we referenced also. And I believe that's it, guys. We did it. We finished our Toothy Boy George.